But then as time goes on and you're in that relationship and he's getting on your nerve, that looking for you starts to, why he always in my business? I mean, like, he don't let me do anything. I go out to my girlfriend's house and he's calling me as soon as I leave. Those are things that you start to then tolerate. And then as things get more and more and more, you start to get annoyed by them. Hello, 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 Facebook. Hi, Instagram. How are you all doing on this beautiful day? It is absolutely beautiful here in Georgia. I just wanted to tell you. I don't know if it's hot there in Chicago or wherever you guys are, but it's beautiful here. Not too hot, not too humid. Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining me. It is amazing, and I was thinking about some things I wanted to talk to you all about. Trying to get my connection from my IG on here. It is not doing what I needed to do. So let me just make sure I got my Wi-Fi on. Wi-Fi is on. So how are you guys doing today? Hi, David. Thanks for joining me. I am going to talk a few moments, just trying to get everything up. You guys stay with me if you can. Hi, Tanya. How are you guys doing today? You know, many times we get into situations with our relationships where we feel like we can't save them. We feel like we're done. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired of going through the things that I've been going through. It seems like nothing's changing. It seems like things are just getting worse. It seems like we're not even getting on one page. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Dad. How are you? Seems like we just are not doing well. The relationship is not where we want it to be. We feel like we deserve better. We feel like we are we're stuck. And it just frustrates us. It gets us to a place where we're done. And when you get to that place, it's very hard to get out of that, especially if it's only one person dealing with that entire situation. You know, if you are in a relationship, it's supposed to be two people, right? Two people working on it, two people that are supposed to be talking about it, two people that are supposed to be dealing with it, two people that are supposed to do things as far as it's concerned. And a lot of times we don't have that. Sometimes you're in a relationship and you're struggling to keep it together with just one person. But what does that look like? What does that mean? I mean, like, how do you deal with a relationship that is one-sided? The one thing that you really want to do is first decide, is this really what you want to do? And as women, and I've heard me and my friends talk about this, I heard other women talk about this before, is that their first question is, well, I don't know what he want to do, and he just needs to tell me what he want to do, and you know, if I just knew how he felt, or all of these things that are regarding what the man is thinking. And many times we really have to just make up the decision ourselves, because you can ultimately only control you. I've been telling my clients for a long time that when you are in a situation, I don't care what type of situation it is, even with your children, you can only control you. So how are you going to respond to that? So now you have to make the decision for yourself and say, hey, is this something that's worthwhile? You know, is the longevity important to me? Does this person have exactly what I'm looking for in a relationship? Or are they lacking in some areas because I was blinded by the sex in the beginning, or I was blinded by something, I had rose-colored glasses on? Whatever the situation is, we really have to get to the point where we are now self-assessing and really realizing what type of relationship we're in. Because you don't have to keep in mind, I love it. My parents have been married for 20 years. My dad and my stepmom, she's my mom, because my mom passed when I was 15. But I love listening to them. They giggle and talk and all these things. And my mom always says, she says that, you know, that's my best friend. And a lot of times we get into, especially women, we dive in, we get into relationships and we don't even understand why we're in the relationship. We just kind of like the dude and we stay there and we just, you know, we get used to it. Why? Because we are naturally, there's some women out there that are not, but we are naturally monogamous, if you will. We get into relationships and we just want, once we click with somebody, we want that relationship to work. We want that relationship to work and to do what it needs to do, instead of us, trying to figure out, like the men are doing, kind of figuring out who they want to be with. We go in, we see, oh, he's cute, oh, he's handsome, oh, he sweet talks me, oh, he opens the door, whatever your standards are, whatever you're looking for in a mate. You see those things and instantly you get like, hey, this is it. I am diving all the way in. I want this, and that's it, right? But when those quirks, if you will, that we thought were cute, like for instance, oh, he just calls me all day long. Oh my God, every time I look up, he just wants to spend so much time with me. He's so concerned about where I am. Oh my goodness, it just feels so good for somebody to be looking for me. But then as time goes on and you're in that relationship and he's getting on your nerve, that looking for you starts to, why he always in my business? I mean, like, he don't let me do anything. I go out to my girlfriend's house and he's calling me as soon as I leave. Those are things that you start to then tolerate. And then as things get more and more and more, you start to get annoyed by them. So this progression, because there was no real foundation built, is starting to annoy you. But if you would have assessed in the beginning exactly what that relationship should look like for you, then you would have alleviated some of that trouble. You would have alleviated some of the heartache and some of the annoying and some of the tolerating. Why? Because you would have had set in stone exactly what you were looking for. And it has nothing to do with, oh, he's got to be 6 foot tall. Oh, he's got to have big hands and all these other crazy things. Or he needs to be driving a BMW, and, he got to be making $100,000 a year, and all these things that we put on our standards list, instead of it being a standard of, he's kind. He opens the door for me. He's considerate of me. He makes me feel good, and not just feel good as in feel good, but I'm talking about he really taps into my psyche. He taps into who I am and what I need. And he's not just looking for something. He's looking to give something. And then you automatically see that that's the person that you really want to spend time with. When you start to do that, when you start to assess that and you start to figure that out, then you can start to push and really know that when the relationship gets into trouble, which is what we're talking about today, I can't save my relationship. When you start to look at what the relationship is, what's happening, and the relationship starts to get in trouble, that's when you can revert back and say, you know what, this is my why. This is why I'm in this relationship. And the reason why I'm in this relationship is dot, 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 dot. And those are the things that you fall back on when you're tolerating, or when you're annoyed, or when things are going awry. Because if you can't fall back on those things, the relationship will just get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And the next thing you know, you guys are at each other. You can't stand each other. You look at each other, rolling eyes. You're trying to figure out how to get out of the relationship because you really can't afford not to be in the relationship, but because of finances. And you're in the relationship then for something totally different, or the children, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times I'll give you an example. I was in a relationship, and I really wanted to out, right? But I couldn't afford to be out. So I ended up staying longer than I needed to stay. Why? Because had I left, then I would have been on the street. So sometimes we think of things like that, but you have to keep in mind, if had I thought about that relationship before, and is this the type of person I want to spend my life with, is this the type of person I want to live with, then I would have made that decision, because whatever was transpiring wouldn't have made me feel so threatened that I wanted to leave and be on the street. So we have to keep in mind, I used to tell my kids when they were younger, even before they were even thinking about boyfriend, girlfriends, I've been telling my kids, certain things. But I told my son when he was younger, I said, son, before you start, doing the do, I want you to think about it. Even my daughter, think about who you are about to lay with. And even though, what, we talking about 15 minutes? 15 minutes to an hour for those who think that they are really doing it for a long time. But you think about 15 minutes to an hour, and you could possibly give this person your entire life because a condom could break, or you weren't using condoms at all, and you end up with a child, and now somebody that you just want to get a quick fix with, you are stuck with for life. Or you are stuck in a situation where not only are you stuck in for life, but you may have something that you can't get rid of, all because you didn't assess the situation prior to you laying with them. So now you is stuck in this relationship that you shouldn't have been in the first place, and now you're trying to figure out how to get out or how to save the relationship, and you don't know how to save it. Why? Because you don't even know why you're in it. You got in it because it felt good. But the feel-good relationship should happen when you're teenagers and your 20s. After you 20, you shouldn't be in feel-good relationships. You should be in relationships that are going to be prosperous, that are going to build, that are going to strengthen who you are. Why? Because the whole purpose in bringing two people together is to make a greater one. And if y'all ain't together and making a greater one, wrong relationship, get out quick. If you don't get out quick, you're going to be hurt. You're going to be sitting there crying your eyes out, ladies, trying to figure out what had happened. But if you assess the relationship before you get in a relationship, you know, I'm that person. I'm that person that goes in with 50 million questions. I'm asking him up front. And if he gets frustrated because I'm asking a million questions up front, let's come on here with you and have a conversation. Yeah, inbox me, Michael, and we could talk about that, because I would love to have a male's point of view on some things I'm talking about. So yeah, inbox me. But if you would have assessed that in the beginning, asking all those 50 million questions, if you see he's getting aggravated because, no, not now, not now. I need to talk to you. I need to see where you at. I don't need to invite you on my platform before I know who you are and what you're about, because this is my name, and that's all I got. So we need to talk first. And we can bring this back up if this is something you want to talk about, but please inbox me. I appreciate that. But if you're not asking all these questions, let me say this. If you're asking a bunch of questions and the dude get upset that you're asking these questions, red flag, get out. But if he's willing and open to answer these questions without feeling frustrated or thank you, Michael, I appreciate that. I look forward to speaking to you. If he's open to answering these questions with you, you're on the right track. I mean, you don't have to go in drilling like you in interrogation. We don't want you to do that. But there should be a comfortable conversation where you both are asking questions back and forth before you even get to the second date. Because this is the thing. Life is too short to be sitting here wasting time. Oh, and if you got a story like mine, Jesus. If you had a story that's deep and you got to explain that story over and over and over again, yeah, you don't want to have to do that. You want a process of elimination before you get there, so that you're not in the place where you're trying to save the relationship later. Because most of us, most women, if we're being very honest, would say that when they were in the relationship in the beginning, before the real problem started, they kind of saw some things. They saw some red flags and they just ignored them because they were so infatuated or they were so feeling good. But the feel good don't last that long. I'm trying to tell you, it don't. You gotta pay more attention to that. And I'm seeing so many women, so many clients, so many people that are inboxing me. I have literally over 60 of my forms that have been filled out with women talking about trust issues, talking about they were in relationships that were very short, but because they didn't ask the right questions, or they're in relationships they shouldn't have been in, or they're dealing with all these issues with these dudes, but they had these prior knowledge of certain things that were happening and they just ignored it. And we do that. I've done that. Ignored the signs, all because I didn't want to be by myself. I wanted to be in a relationship. I ain't going old by myself. I ain't getting younger. Different things of the sort. you know, whatever the case may be. Or I've even heard people say, well, I wanted a baby daddy. I wanted a father for my kids. It's a lot of different reasons why we do it. But the end game of it, if we think about the end game of it like men do, I'm telling you, men are goal oriented. And if you do not play a really good part in their goal, then you're not going to be a part of their goal. But if they have an end game in mind, they have their goals already planted in their heads. And this is why you got to ask those questions. What's your dreams? What are your goals? What are you looking for in life? You know, and not really give them, oh, you know what, I just want to be rich. No, how are you going to get there? What is it going to take you to get there? Because as a woman, me, and when I'm talking, I'm thinking, okay, so he wants to do this. How can I be a part of that? How can I put my assets into that? Why? Because, or how about this? He want to do that? Oh, no, I want a part of that. But if I wouldn't have asked these questions in the beginning, I wouldn't know what I needed to be a part of. You know, when I got married to my last husband and I knew he was a pastor, I promise you, the first thing I was like, I don't want to be a first lady. I didn't want to do that because I knew what it took. I ended up doing it. Why? Because I was infatuated. Because he was cute. Really? But now I'm dealing with a whole bunch of extra stuff that comes along with that package. And had I did that and stuck to my guns and was really like, this what I need, or what's your idea, what's your goals, what are you trying to do, what are you trying to get into, and are you trying to open a church, you want a church and you want to travel, what would you want trying to do? I mean, like, are you just a pastor in name, you know, just different things. Had I asked those questions and a lot more questions, if y'all know my story, then I would have known already this is his goals, and if I want to be a part of those goals or not. If you're not asking those questions to see how you fit in, and then down the line you're trying to figure out why you don't fit in, or you're down the line you're trying to figure out why he go ghost on you, or down the line you're trying to figure out, dang, what happened? We was cool in the beginning, but all of a sudden we just like chilled. Yeah, you chilled because you weren't a part of his goals. And you just were feel good. You were just a part of his now. Because guess what? Typically, his goal is always there. But when he meets you, it's the right now. It's what's happening at that moment. He ain't thinking like we do. Oh, I can see us down the aisle. We're going to be so cute. We're going to have some cute babies. Those are the things that women think about. Men don't think that. They go, she hot. How can I get in that? And if all of the pretty nice things that he's doing in the beginning is all about that, until he gets to know you, until he gets to see how you are part of his goal. When you become a part of his goal and you become a part of who he wants to be, now he done took his eyes off of, let me see if I can get up in that. If you're not doing that, ladies, then you're going to set yourself up for a letdown. Because we go in and we dive all the way in. We put everything we got into it. Why? Because we really have been thinking about being a wife and being married since we were yay high. When we were running around the house with our stuff on, you know, all these things, you know, and we need to really stop fantasizing. Stop thinking about the future so quickly and not seeing what's in our present, because that's how we get tripped up. That's how we end up hurting and in pain and trying to figure out how to get over this one. And trying to figure out how, you know, when we in it and we suffering, man, I ain't gonna never get over this. I'm done with me. I'm sick of this. I ain't done. I ain't having no more relationships. You go through all these things, these emotions that you don't necessarily have to go through. Why? Because you should have assessed before. And then you don't have to worry about, I can't save my relationship. So just want to drop in. Ladies, I'm about to do another webinar. It is going to be amazing. Y'all have got to keep up with me on Facebook. If you know your girls who are single, married, divorced, wanting to be in a relationship, if guys that are on here, you got some sisters, some cousins, some nieces, anybody that even looks like they could be in a relationship needs to be on the next webinar that I'm about to do. Keep track of me. I'm about to put that stuff up. What is this? This is like, I'm going to be traveling this week, but once I come back next Monday, it's going to be posted when I'm going to be doing that webinar again, and it's going to be free. I'm not charging you nothing. I'm going to give some real good information in about a 90-day period. 90-minute period. 90 minutes I'm going to be on there, and I'm going to give some real good detailed information on what to do and what not to do, how to get exactly what you want out of your relationship. And if you want this information, you need to be on the webinar. It's free. It's going to be free. So check me out. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just sign up. It's going to register to get the information and get the link, because I'm only going to get my links out the day before. But it's going to be some really good information. I did the last webinar. 50 women confirmed. 80 women actually registered, but 50 women actually confirmed. So we were well on our way. A lot of people got so much information out of there asking me when I'm going to do it again, because they know that every time I do a webinar, I'm going to give a lot of information. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure that you follow my page at The Core Woman, as well as IG at The Core Woman, Twitter at The Core Woman, and LinkedIn at The Core Woman. So really tap in, and I am here to answer some questions. If you have some questions that you want answered, or something you want me to talk about because you've been trying to figure this thing out and you want some answers, and any guys, I see Michael wants to be on there. Any guys that would like to come on and we have a conversation, make sure that you inbox me and we can chat back and forth, get a meeting of the minds and see if we are fit, so that me and you can talk and we can get on here and talk to the ladies, because ladies want to know what the guys think. And I have been getting some information from the heavens that I know is true. Why? Because I've been talking to the men, verifying what I've gotten to make sure it wasn't just me, but I've been getting some real good stuff, and we want to hear from the guys too. So if you are having some struggles with your confidence, I have a free ebook that you can get at www.thecorewomanfreegift.com. It is a 365-day affirmation ebook. You got affirmation for every single day that you can meditate on all day long, so that you can strengthen yourself, build yourself up, because that's what I do. I help women get rid of the labels and become their own brands. BRANDS, that build your confidence, rediscover who you are, achieve your goals, navigate the emotions so that they work for you and not against you, drop the baggage from all the junk that you've been through. Because if you know my story, I've dropped all that baggage, 4 marriages and 4 divorces, okay? Surpass your self-limiting beliefs so that you can create the life that you deserve and desire. If that is something that you want, go ahead and keep track of what I'm doing, and I'm going to get you there. So we will talk to you later, and talk to you soon. Bye.